This is part 4 of my gag-worthy how to get away with murder moments. The next moment is the David Allen case. David Allen was sentenced to prison for the murder of his girlfriend Trisha Stanley. He had been in prison for over 21 years. It was argued that he shot his girlfriend Trisha. David was granted an appeal, which ultimately put the ball in Annalise's court to prove that he, in fact, did not murder his girlfriend. Annalise, Bonnie, Frank, the kids, they were all going through discovery, trying to find holes in this original trial that took place over 20 years ago. While going through discovery, it was learned that Asher's father, Judge Millstone, played a part in David Allen's conviction. It's also discovered that the original eyewitness whose testimony put David Allen away was highly questionable. At the time of the testimony, this eyewitness struggled to pay her rent, but as soon as the trial ended, she was granted residency in an apartment complex owned by Senator Art Trucco. Art Trucco at the time would have had a lot to gain from the death of Trisha Stanley, including lots of new property developments. With the new suspicions of this eyewitness testimony, as well as Senator Art Trucco's shady ass, it was the day of the trial, and Annalise told David Allen that she was gonna get him up out of prison so he can go and get his steak dinner. Annalise was nervous, but she knew she had to stand on business. She questioned the original eyewitness, asking how is it possible that after your testimony being unable to pay your rent, you were then moved into this luxury apartment complex that happens to be owned by Senator Art Trucco? It was argued that she couldn't answer this question, so Annalise says, look, Senator Art Trucco is right across the street, bring that in here and let's question him. So they bring Art Trucco over, and Annalise, baby, let me tell you, when I tell you, okay, that Annalise gathered all of his edges, okay? She went in on that ass.
Question is, Senator Trucco, did you have Trisha Stanley murdered?
Are you out of your mind?
Your Honor, this has gone on long enough.
Did you convince your tenant, Linda Morelli, to testify that Trisha Stanley was killed by her boyfriend, David Allen?
You're way off base. I recommend you rein this in.
Explain why your eviction suit against Miss Morelli was dropped despite her inability to pay rent.
Cheating?
Is it because her lost rent money was nothing compared to the millions you made once Miss Stanley was out of your way? Answer the question,
Keating,
Senator.
enough.
Why was Linda Morelli granted these concessions?
Mr. Chief Justice, I have extended great deference to the court by showing up here today, but I am not going to put up with this any longer.
I am sorry, Senator, if you do not have the time to answer for who bore the real cost of your development.
Objection!
Not just Trisha Stanley and her boyfriend David Allen, who served 21 years in prison.
Your Honor, please.
For the thousands who were displaced in the name of lining your pockets.
Keating?
The majority whom were poor, powerless, and didn't bear the color of skin desirable to your business interests. You tore a community apart. You tore families apart. You destroyed lives, Senator. Admit it. Admit you killed Trisha Stanley and had my client David Allen set up for her murder.
That is enough. You hear me? You say another word and they'll have no choice but to throw you in jail.
That type of dragging, that's not something you can teach in school. Annalise came ready and proved that there were several holes in this trial. It was enough to get David Allen off. This monologue that Viola gave in this scene is the scene that I feel earned her that Emmy Award.